I'm going to start with you, Mr. Gary. But I said Ms. Fields. I didn't know it was you. So, Ms. Fields.
Okay, well, his presentation basically only has thank you. Only has one page after regarding the invoice review and submission. So as long as we're on this predictive map.
Well, I want them to be quick points of information. Don't be too eager. If you watch Senate hearings, we let them make opening statements. We try to be quick clarification. So I'm listening to what you say. So let's see if I say
Can I
proceed.
ask my questions or not, Mr. Mays?
I'm listening. Proceed.
Okay, I had asked.
Questions, proceed. I'll see.
Do you want to talk or may I talk, Mr. Mays?
Mr. Guerra, proceed.
Point of order.
I'm not finna argue with you, Kate Fields.
Point of order.
Mr. Mays, you can't keep
I'm
interrupting
over
someone to
Mr.
pull and then
Metcalf.
Point
Mr.
of
Metcalf.
order. Point of order.
You're not gonna keep arguing with me as I clarify what this
Point of
procedure is
order.
doing.
Point of order, Mr. Mays.
Mr. Metcalf, if they continue, 2 people or 3, if they want to voluntarily, will be gone. What's your point, Ms. Worthy?
Ms. Fields had the floor, and you just gave it to Mr. Guerra for no reason. That's not.
That's your opinion. I'm denying that to be a valid point.
I appeal your ruling.
Okay, fine. It's an appeal of the ruling of the chair. And so what's going to happen, you're going to find yourself getting walked out. Is there a second?
Is that a threat, Mr. Mays?
Mr. Metcalf, I want her gone.
There's a second.
I want her gone. That would be Miss Worthy, and it's going to be Miss Fields next. They're not going to keep up here making personal attacks, interrupting, being rude. And so remember, if I order her gone and you don't move her, is we going to have some race discrimination, different treatment orders from the chair. Because you sure walked right up to me. So I'm asking you to walk up to her. And I'm going to let this appeal go. You know our appeal process.
I appeal your decision.
Beg your pardon?
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
What is you talking about? It's an appeal on the floor already by you.
And I have another one.
Mr. Metcalf, do you understand what's happening here, Ms. Worthen? You ain't finna run this meeting and you ain't gonna interrupt it. And Mr. Metcalf, I'm nice, but I'm this close to asking you to remove her. If you don't, my lawsuit gonna be more. Now, I'm not playing with y'all. Not playing at all. Ms. Fields seconds the appeal of the ruling of the chair. This appeal has to do with a point of order. I denied her point. This appeal has to do with me asking that she, I think, be removed. And Ms. Fields, when she went to arguing with me, I went on to Mr. Gary. The only arguments is going to be in an appeal. It ain't going to be no back and forth show. And so I want that's what this appeal is. It ain't going to be Worthen, it ain't going to be Fields trying to make this chair and this procedure look like a clown show. So y'all can continue to support it. Mr. Guerra, Galloway, Herb is gone. And we're going to proceed. We're going to let him do his presentation, and then we're going to ask the long questions. Any discussion on this appeal? Ms. Fields, I see you, I see Ms. Galloway. I have no problem with a democratic process, but in a minute, Mr. Metcalf, I'm going to test you to see if you remove them like you did me. And I'm not talking demographics and who's who. I'm watching for the similar or same treatment or the different treatment for the same or similar conduct. Proceed, Ms. Fields.
This appeal is because every time you gave me the floor and I tried to speak, you interrupted me. Not once, not twice, but 3 times before Ms. Worthing finally called a point of order. You cannot give the floor to someone and then interrupt them consistently when they try to speak. So I kept asking you, may I speak? Do I have the floor? And then you thought you would use that as a reason to skip me and go on to someone else. I am about to ask for a vote of no confidence for you as a chair. You need to follow the rules. You need to quit interrupting people. When you give someone the floor, let them speak. You are silencing our voices through your tactics, and it's not acceptable. Now, there's important questions we have to ask, and I have some very important questions to ask AECom, multiple questions. But I just made the comment, there was only one more page of his presentation, and that was to do with invoices. So I wanted to ask my questions about the predictive modeling and where they're working before they got into invoices. And then you kept interrupting me. So I believe no one should be removed from the meeting except possibly you, Mr. Mays.
Who is next on this discussion? Ms. Galloway,
Thank you,
proceed.
Councilman Mays. Councilman Mays, I just want to say, as the chair, you've opened the door to questions. And then when the questions are being brought forward, you're stating that you want them to have the ability to finish their presentation. I would be okay with them finishing the presentation if it meant that it would eliminate what we're experiencing up here. I agree that you did interrupt Ms. Fields, and maybe you didn't like the tone, that could be, but she simply said, "Can I speak?" And in your authoritative role, you decided to take the floor from her and give it to Mr. Guerra. And so, as you know, as the chair, that isn't appropriate. There wasn't anything that she did. You did recognize her, and so I'll be supporting this appeal.
Well, that's good, and I would say this. If these two ain't removed, that's fine, but let's get the facts straight. I made it clear. Quick questions like point of information, let him proceed and finish his presentation. But you can interrupt him, just like they don't want to be interrupted. I'm sure he don't either. But I said council people can interrupt. Ms. Fields stated on the record she had a bunch of questions, or not maybe the word bunch, but she had questions. I said, okay, let him finish his presentation, whether they about the predictive model or invoices, let him finish. This ain't the time for the long questions. And so I got the right to prioritize the business. The priority was him finishing his presentation, not her questions. That's my duty. And I asked it. And then she went to arguing with me after she told me she had more than one question on the predictive model. I'm telling her, let her finish his presentation. You can ask him. I say, you can go first. She telling me about interrupting. My duty is to keep the priority of the business, not to let it go haywire. And y'all missing that. So I'm entertaining these appeals, and whatever y'all vote, right or wrong, it's the democracy. But I know what I'm doing. I done been attacked trying to keep the priority of the business. I'll do this all day long. It's on you. But I'm not going to do this all day, and they're not going to be telling me when to keep them on track and how to prioritize the business, and you can rubber stamp it if you want. But I just ain't buying it. And we'll do it every time. And we can do this. And then that's how they learn the other council. That's why some of y'all sitting here. Because the public can see. The public can see y'all making attacks on me. The public can see that she talking about interrupting her, you're interrupting him. These are some quick questions. These ain't the long questions just because she says she got to leave at a certain time. She want to change the flow. That's my view, and I ain't letting it happen. Mr. Winfrey said he had to leave. She says she got to leave, so she being slick trying to do something before it's time. That's what's happening, and you don't know it. I don't know if you know it, Mr. Guerra. She done already come and asked me and told me what time she got to leave, so she maneuvering to change how this hearing is going, and y'all allowing it, and it's embarrassing. Is it something you need us to hear, Ms. Fields? And so I'm telling you the truth.
You don't actually hear much,
Miss
Mr. Mays.
Fields, you want the floor again, you get twice. Because you're not going to keep interrupting. That's why I keep saying it. You say, Mr. Chairman, you asked to get the floor. That's what this appeal is about, because you were steady arguing with me. Now you just done did something wrong. You can't sit and listen. I can sit and be called a bully, personally attacked by you, and I can sit and be quiet. Y'all missing that. Ms. Galloway, you missing that. Y'all got blinders on. I don't care how you vote, but y'all gonna discuss an appeal, and I'm gonna discuss it. I know politics. I know personalities. She said she had to leave. She always got to leave. They ain't never here. So don't get me to telling folk. I'm not going to act sedity because it's a hearing
Point of
in cameras.
information.
What's your point?
What is that relevant to?
It's relevant to personalities. Did that answer your point of information? Well, you asked it and I answered. You might not accept the answer, just like you might not accept his, but that's the answer. That's the answer you get. That's the answer you get. I don't care you don't like it. It's relevant. Personalities and people is relevant. And if y'all voted right, this would have stopped a minute ago. Any more discussion on this motion? And if it ain't no discussion, I'm going to repeat the motion. Those who have been warned that want to argue and believe that I'm not going to keep the priority of the business is mistaken. The priority of the business ain't her questions that she said she had many of. I interrupted and said, let him finish his presentation. You can do them later. That's what I did. You can shake your head where you wasn't in your seat. So that's my intent. And I'm going to continue to do it, Ms. Galloway. Ms. Galloway, what's your point?
Mr. Mays, I walked away from my chair for a second, but you didn't say, you may have said let him finish his presentation, but that's not the action that you followed with. You took the floor from Ms. Fields and said, Mr. Guerra, you have the floor. So you didn't give it back to Mr. Wong, which, if that was where you were going, okay, but that's not what you did. You showed that you had the authority to take the floor from one of your colleagues and give it to the other. And that's what this appeal is about. It was not right, and so that is, again, not what you did. You didn't say, Mr. Wong, continue. You said, Mr. Guerra, you now have the floor.
Miss Galloway, I get a flow to her. She argued, you right, I took it, proceed with Mr. Guerra. Just like with Ms. Worthen, I'm a fair chair. I said, keep your questions short, let them finish, proceed. I'm gonna go back to her. If she wanna argue, I'm going to Mr. Guerra, I'll come back to her. You can't predict what I'm doing. I'm a fair man. Now I know what I'm doing. If you go to arguing back and forth with me, I'll say, proceed, Mr. Davis. I ain't gotta sit here and argue on public in camera. So the appeal is whether I want her removed for that. The appeal ain't me giving the floor to Mr. Guerra. When I told her to quit arguing and she kept going on, then I gave the floor to Mr. Guerra. I ain't got to sit up here and look like a spectacle arguing with folk. If you gonna argue, Mr. Guerra, I'm gonna recognize you. That's why I started to put on the back burner, and I was trying to be fair. I recognized her before Guerra. I wanted to go Guerra before her because I knew it might be some mess. Sure enough, she want to ask the questions on predictive model before he finished the presentation. I interrupt and say, let him finish, and then y'all ask all them questions you talking about. You can twist it, Ms. Galloway, any way you want. It's on film, camera. I know what I'm doing. I'll continue to deal with the priority of the business. That's what my duty is as a chair. Any more discussion on this? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Galloway?
Yes supports the appeal, no supports the chair.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Mr. Griggs?
Yes.
Ms. Worthing?
Yes.
Mr. Mays?
No.
Mr. Davis?
No.
Mr. Guerra?
Yes.
Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Okay.
The vote, if I could announce the vote. The vote is 5 yes, 3 no.
Ms. Fields survives another one. Mr. Guerra, you got the floor.
Point of order?
What's your point?
Ms. Fields has the floor.
Your point is denied. Mr. Guerra, you got the floor.
I appeal your ruling.
Hold on. Can I,
She's appealing the ruling of who the chair get a floor to. Is there a second?
isn't that what the vote was just on?
It's dying for lack of a second. Mr. Guerra, you got the floor.